Hello everyone, welcome back to WD18, the Watford fan channel. Welcome to another very special video. We're delighted to welcome Joseph Hungbo to the show. Joe, thank you so much for your time today, mate. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. First off, how's it going, mate? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, guys. Thank you for having me. How are you guys doing? You okay?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, good, mate. We were really excited for this one. I think particularly as young Watford fans, seeing you come through the under-23s, breaking into the first team, it's an exciting time to be a Watford fan. I think the best place to start is how you're finding life at Watford. How's it been for you?
For me personally, I always set my standards all the way high, and this is my second season at Watford, and it's been an adventure. It's definitely been an adventure. I've definitely gone through a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and I'm just happy to get through everything and be in the position I'm in now. I just got to make sure I just keep going, but it's definitely been an adventure. I'd definitely say that.
This season, is it kind of the highlight of your time at the club so far? Making your league debut, playing at Old Trafford away as well, must have been special.
110%. I mean, if someone told me this was going to be how your season was going to look, I'd have been like, all right, cool. Let me take that. Literally, honestly, football's a funny game. I mean, I was at Aldershot not too long ago, and for me personally, I didn't really feel like I'd done myself justice, but I came back and I just had this drive and this mentality of, listen, if I'm not going to do it there, I better do it here. I have no choice. I have to put my mind, I have to put everything into training day in, day out for me to, excel. And I'm just happy everything's paying dividends, but I just got to keep going.
Because you mentioned, I think it was in an interview, wasn't it, with the club, where you mentioned about Harry Kane going on loan to Norwich, then he came back. It's those sort of players that you took maybe a bit of motivation from to find that drive to break through?
100%. And you see so many players go to non-league teams and they go out on loan and they get the experience, and sometimes it works in their favor, sometimes it doesn't. And for me, it didn't at the time, but I just used that as fuel for me to go harder, for me to, think better, for me to play better. And it definitely helped me, because it definitely turned me from a boy to a man. It definitely showed me the different aspects to the game, and didn't really understand, didn't really know. So I've come back with that experience of how life could be for me. And the National League is probably the hardest league. Honestly, it's so hard. It's so hard mentally, physically. It's difficult. And I was very happy for me to experience that, even though it didn't go my way, because I've understood different types of football in essence. But I can't really say too much about them. They were amazing, but I've just got to focus on what I've got to do now.
Sam, sorry, mate, go on.
No, you talk about kind of that transition from becoming a boy to a man in football. Which player in the first team has kind of really helped you settle into, the dressing room and into first team football style of play and that kind of thing?
There's been quite a few. Obviously, you got the skipper, you got Troy. He has no filter. He just tells you how it is. You got Nate, you got Cleves, you got Andre. You've got so many players that have come in and welcomed me, and just put my arms around their shoulder, and they've literally just welcomed me, and I got nothing but respect for them. And not a lot of people would do that. Not a lot of people would go out their way to welcome youngers, because more time when youngers come in, they're like, all right, what's this guy gonna be like? But sometimes when it comes to it, you've got to have a bit of character about yourself. You got to have a bit about yourself, and I definitely thought I showed that coming up and training with them, and they saw that. Because when you go up, you're kind of intimidated. You're kind of just, okay, I better not make a mistake here. But whenever I made a mistake, I made sure everyone knew I made a mistake, which I have to improve. But whenever I left the training session, people would know that I was in the training session. People know that, all right, yeah, Joseph was in the training session. And I feel like that's the next step. That's the effect you've got to have on certain players. And these are first team players that have been doing it for years at top levels. And if you're having that effect on them, then that's just a very good outlook on how you are as a player and how you are as a person in general. So, yeah, there's definitely been a load of players that have helped me through my time.
I think that was sort of what all Watford fans thought of you when you came on against Manchester United. Like, that's what impressed so many of us, was just how fearless you were, or you seemed when you came on the pitch, because I think you could have been forgiven for coming on the pitch at Old Trafford against Manchester United and sort of shying away from tackles and things like that. But you got straight in there, you got stuck in, you did really well, you played some great passes, and in what was ultimately a 15-minute sort of stretch of time on the pitch, you made a big impact. So is that just part of how you try and maybe get your motivation across and show how you are as a player in a short space of time?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, you don't get an opportunity to play at Old Trafford. Like, certain players don't get an opportunity. So when I was there, even before the game, I was like, oh my word. Like, this is Old Trafford.
Taking it in.
Yeah.
I better do something like legends have played here. So why am I scared? There's no pressure. Like, I'm playing against some of the best players around. Why am I scared? I have no reason to be scared. Like, I've waited my whole life for this. Like, there's no way I'm going to bottle it now and just, do nothing and just be a part of it and be like, yeah, it's a great... No. Like, I've got to take it by the balls and absolutely run with it. It just doesn't make sense why people get scared when, you're presented with such a good opportunity for you to broadcast yourself and, put yourself out there, because you don't know if you're going to get this opportunity again. So when you have it, take it, embrace it, express yourself. Like, you hear so many players say express yourself. They're not lying. Like, if you express yourself, you're playing with happiness, you're playing with joy, you play better. And I feel like that was the only outlook I felt when I was coming on.
100%. When we watch you play, Joe, as Elliot mentioned, it does feel like you're fearless. When you're on the ball, you're taking men on, you're fearless against defenders. From your perspective, is it just purely that? You're not scared of anyone, whoever you come up against?
I feel like if you don't have self-belief in what you do, then you should stop doing it, realistically. Because you got to believe that you can beat anyone in front of you. And I feel like me coming up as an attacking player, I've just been able to just absolutely say, yeah, I'm coming up against you. All right, cool. Let's have it. Like, I don't really care. I don't really care who I come up against, because I believe in myself that it doesn't matter who it is. It could be all the top defenders, all the top midfield. It doesn't matter. Like, everyone's human. Everyone makes mistakes, and I'm gonna make sure you make that mistake. Like, that's my drive, and it's important to have, because if you don't have that, then you should just stop. If you don't believe in yourself, then there's just no point.
How much of an impact has Xisco Muñoz had on your kind of that sort of thought? Do you think how helpful has he been in terms of, your step up from the academy to the first team? And has he kind of helped you have those kind of fearless beliefs within yourself?
He's definitely helped me a lot. He's helped me a lot. And I feel like there isn't a lot of managers out there that have helped me the way he's helped me. He's just taken me in. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity he's given me. And I feel like when he has such passion for the game, and we share the same passion. And when he's speaking about it and I'm speaking about it, it's like it just brings a good sigh of relief. And, it just makes me happy every time I'm speaking to him about certain things I need to work on, or certain things I'm doing well that I could do better. Like you've seen it, the smile he has all the time. Like, when he's smiling, I'm smiling. It's just always happy. Like, he just brings a good vibe to the training. Wherever you see him, he's just always smiling. And because I'm an outgoing guy, and obviously our personalities like just match. And on the pitch, when it's serious, we can still have a joke and a laugh. That's just how we are, and it's amazing. Like, there isn't a lot of managers that you can banter and joke around with, but can switch it like that. And I feel like when you have that balance with a certain manager, it's just amazing, because you can just be yourself. Certain players are kind of rigid, have to be a certain type of way, but when you're yourself, that's just the best way to be honest. And he definitely puts that out there for me to do.
Joe, has he taught you anything in particular from your game, from maybe previous coaches you've worked under? Obviously, you worked under Hayden Mullins, who I think we saw on the player cam that you had a close relationship with him. What's Xisco taught you individually?
He was a winger himself.
Very true.
He was a left-footed winger himself. So when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking He's played at the highest levels. What can I learn from him? And he's taught me so many things, like in terms of getting into certain positions, in terms of my movements behind the defenders, in terms of just simply just crossing, how you cross, different types of crosses. Like, he's been in my position, so he's looking at me saying, all right, cool, what would I do if I'm in your position? And it's just the best type of manager to have, especially when he's an attacker. He knows what you do. He sees what you're doing, but he's like, all right, cool, how am I gonna make sure he sees this other side so he gets this different outcome? Because when I got this outcome, it worked for me. So it was nice. It was amazing.
I imagine it's more physical to play in a senior in the Championship. So how do you have to sort of tweak the way you play to adapt to that? Or do you think it's just sort of playing your way and adapting just as best you can to the Championship?
The difference, the level of intensity is definitely bigger. I mean, in the Championship, like, everyone's shouting at you, like, not talking, shouting at you. Like, it's crazy. Like, in the 23s game, it's like you kind of know, you kind of not go through the motions, but you kind of know, yeah, you know what, just give me the ball, let me do what I need to do. But you can't have that. You honestly can't have that. People are going to be down your throat, and it's all right, cool, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do here? Your mind's on a 360 turn 24/7, and it's definitely where I want to be. I mean, last season had a good season. I feel like I definitely needed a step. I definitely felt like I needed a step because I needed to see how I was going to cope. I needed to see how I was going to be, because I felt like 23s football, it's good for a certain age or for a certain time, but there's a time where you feel like, all right, cool, what's the next step? And I'm just glad to be here and, you know, be embracing the opportunity I'm getting. But it's definitely a different step. Like, a goal and an assist is so important. A win is so important. That last ditch tackle is so important. Everything is so important. And the attention to detail is crazy. And that's why we're just at it every day in training. Training is tough as well as the game. So yeah, it's definitely tough because you're fighting for something. You're fighting for 3 points.
You mentioned the step up there from under 23s to first team football. Just focusing on that, on the first team, has there been one player in particular that maybe you didn't realise how good they were until you saw them up close and training with them every day?
In terms of in my position, I didn't understand how good Saar was until I played with him. He is unbelievable. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you see him in games and he just coasts past people. Like, he does the same thing in training. It's ridiculous.
Do you reckon you could beat him in a race?
No, it's not happening. It's not happening. I'm like, no, Hammy, no, I can't do it. Honestly, like, he, in terms of abilities, unreal. Like, another player, you got Will Hughes, no one can get near him in training. One touch, two touch, no one can get near him. Like, it's so annoying. You think you've got him, and then you just so annoying. But definitely, Saar, he's a different animal.
All of us on here are kind of a similar age, and you know, kind of going through those teenage years. I mean, we would have experienced very different things to you. Do you kind of ever not long for kind of a normal teenage life, but stuff like nights out and going out with mates that you probably can't have?
I saw the little smirk there, Joe. I saw the little smirk.
He can't wait. The first night out in Watford after lockdown.
Joe cutting shapes at prison.
but has that ever been difficult? You know, growing up as a, you know, just in the football environment.
I'm not really the nightlife guy. I'm not really the go out guy. I just stay at home, read books.
Do you play FIFA?
I don't even have a console.
Oh.
I don't even have a console.
No, we've got to have a game. We've got to have a game.
I don't even have a console. Like, a lot of the boys are like, yo, Joe, like, why don't you? Nah, man. It's like, right now I'm just focused. Like, there's no reason for me to go out, and maybe I can go out in the garden, you know, sunny outside. But in terms of me actually going out, for me personally, I just don't see the point of it. Personally, like, it's just a waste of time. It's like, it's just not my scene. It's not my scene. Honestly, it's not my scene. And a lot of the boys will vouch for me. I just don't go out. I don't go out at all. A footballer's life is a very short career. Like, it's not long at all. And I think I don't want to look back at my career and say, what if I could have done this? Or what if I could have done that? Like, I want to make sure that I put every ounce of every day of every second into my craft. And that's being the best footballer I can possibly be. And that's not going to be affected by me going out with my friends or me going out to the nightclub. What's that going to do for me? Nothing. But me, having a nice bath after training, or me reading a book, or me watching a certain podcast that could, help me in terms of different aspects of things, that's going to help me. Not going out. Like, I ain't got time. I don't have time for that. Like, I honestly don't. Like, I'm trying to do things that are going to benefit me for the future. Like, I'm not trying to live for the memories. Nah. Obviously, you want to enjoy it. I understand that, but there's a time and a place. And
you find the lockdown helpful for kind of just the time to read, listen to podcasts, whatever, kind of that time that a lot of us kind of didn't really have in our lives, just to take a step back and think about what you want to do.
100%. Like, even before the lockdown, I wasn't really going out like that anyway. But in terms of when the lockdown happened, it gave me an opportunity for me to, discover new things, discover new books, discover just different aspects. Like, instead of me just being on my phone 24/7, I can, be helping out with someone. I can be reading something. I could be maybe even watching a couple series, like something. Like, I'm just not really that person to be out there until God knows how long doing what. Like, it's just not me, man.
I feel personally attacked here.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
There's a real mix of like footballers who say, "Oh, I get home and I watch a football match, and then I watch a football match, and then there's another sort of section of footballers that say, "Oh, I get home and I don't want to have anything to do with football. Don't want to watch any matches. Don't want to see what's happening in the Premier League or in the other games in the Championship." Where do you sort of fall on that spectrum? Are you someone that likes to watch as much football as possible, consume as much football media, or do you try and stay away from it when training's done and focus on a book or something like that instead?
It just depends, really. I feel like ever since I was young, I've always been a football fanatic. So it's like, me watching football just makes me happy. Like, so I'm just gonna do it. Like, every Saturday when you just got games at 3, games at 5, games at 7, games at 8, I'm like, yes, that's my Saturday done. That's my Saturday done. I'm not gonna lie, like, that's all I really want to do. Like, obviously, you got to respect the people that just don't really want to have anything to do with football when they've done it. It's like, listen, I've done with that now. All right, cool, whatever. Let me spend time with my family, do what I need to do. But with me, I love it. Like, honestly, like, because I'm just learning new things from different people every day. Like, when I'm watching certain players, I could be watching a player like Sterling or watching a player like Mane. Like, I'm watching certain things they're doing every week, and I'm like, all right, cool, you done this, you done that. So it's education for me. It's like how everyone's got their education. It's education for me to just watch games, like, just watch it, how midfielders get it, play it into the wingers, what type of runs they're making. It's like, I really try and study the game as much as I possibly can.
I think I saw something on Rising Ballers actually about your brother Jacob, and there was a really, really nice piece there, and just how important he's been and your family have been to your growth. Just, do you want to maybe touch on that and the kind of the part they've played in your growth, not only as a player but as a person as well?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with 5 brothers, 1 sister, and obviously I'm the youngest out of the brothers, and when they found out I wanted to play football, they were like, all right, cool, but you got to make sure that your education's there. And I feel like me growing up with my mum and dad as well, that definitely helps. They kind of grounded me a lot. Like, when I was doing wrong, they'd tell me. When I was doing well, they'd be like, all right, cool, that's good, but you can do better. Like, I came from a very cultural family where it was all about hard work, because I come from a hard-working family. My mum, she works hard. My dad works hours on end. So I see that growing up, and I'm like, all right, cool. I've got to implement that in my life, because that's what I see my parents doing. That's what I see my brothers doing. And especially my brother Jacob, like, he's literally been there with me from the get-go since I was 9. So it's definitely, they've definitely helped a lot. Like they've definitely molded me into the person I am today and to the player I am today, essentially. Like family is definitely the most important thing to me.
You mentioned your role models with your parents. Do you see yourself as a role model to maybe some of the younger players who have maybe had a difficult, obviously you're kind of at the start of your career, but particularly at Watford with the under-23s, the under-18s, it feels like you're a great example of what can happen if you put in hard work and you can break through the first team. Do you see yourself as that, or am I seeing that very much from the outside?
Me personally, like when you talk about role models, you talk about players that have, made it in a game. For me personally, I feel like I've got to do way more for me to be a role model. Like what have I really done for me to be a role model? Have I really broken into the first? Have I really done it though? Like I'm half there, half not. It can go there, it can go ahead. So it's like, in terms of me being a role model, I feel like that's a big statement. But, like, I don't think I'm a role model yet, but I definitely feel like in terms of my drive and my mentality to certain things, I feel like a lot of young players can understand that, if you just focus on the most important thing, and that's the work, and that's football, like it can take you as far as you want to go.
I don't think it's just that though. I don't think it's just football. I think in every kind of stretch of life, what you say. I think 100%. Me and Elliot, we have exams coming up. It's stuff like that. You can easily, apply that to your exam.
Exactly.
Having confidence and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it just doesn't matter what you do as long as you just work hard in everything you do. Like the harder you work, the luckier you get. I was lucky enough to come on against United, lucky enough to come on against Wickham. Like, to be honest, is you manifest what you do, like everything you do is manifested. And if you're working hard, like it's gonna get manifested into good things. Like when it wasn't happening for me at Old Trafford, I was like, why is this happening to me? Like I really do this. 3 months later, I'm playing against Wickham, making my debut in the Championship. Like good, like no one writes that. Like
what was that feeling like, Joe, when you got the call up to come on?
I got told in the warm up, I got told, listen, you may come on today, just keep warm. I'm telling you, I have not warmed up before for so long in my life. I was out on the touchline for like a good 50 minutes, just running up and down. I was just staying there, just running up and down. Coming into the 80th minute, I'm like, no, is it gonna happen today? It's 2-0. I'm like, I get the call. Oh my god, my heart was racing.
Really?
Heart was racing.
What were the thoughts going through your head at that point? Is it kind of like, comment?
In my head, I'm like, okay, cool. They're winning 2-0. You got 7 minutes to go. All right, cool. Just relax. Do what you need to do. Work hard. Your chance will come. Do what you need to do when you get on the ball. Keep it simple. Like just little things like that. Like just self-talk, really. And it paid dividends. Like when I got on the ball, I kind of lost it, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen now?" Like, yeah. But when you get into the game, you get a feel of the game. It's definitely easier because it was full throttle. Obviously, Wickham were trying to get a goal, and getting into the grip of the game is hard. You just adapt into the intensity. Yep, go do what you need to do. It's difficult, but I managed to get a grip of it, and yeah, it was good. It was definitely what I needed.
Elliot, I wanted to bring you in there, mate. What's particularly impressed you about Joe, and since kind of the cameos you've seen from him?
Well, yeah, I've been lucky enough to go to the games in like the press box and watch you in person, and it, like I've said before, like when you came on against United, just how you can instantly see you on the pitch as soon as you've come on. You're not like blending in or anything. You're always getting the ball, always attacking the fullback, and I think it's especially when you're on the left, because it's obviously where I'm sitting if it's in the second half. So I think just the way you drive at your man at the right back in the way you do, and even if you're maybe on the right, when I don't know what is your familiar position necessarily, whether you prefer it on the left or the right, but is it more, I'm not sure how to exactly word the question, but is it more that you just take the opportunity as it comes, or is it's a difficult one, but like...
to be honest, in terms of where where I am in terms of what I want to do. I feel like when you've got an opportunity to get at a defender or get at anyone, just take it. Just go for it. Like, the worst thing that's going to happen is they tackle you, it goes out for a throw-in, like, they win the ball. All right. You go again. Like, it's just, for me, it's, I know what I'm capable of doing, and it doesn't really matter who I'm playing against. Like, it doesn't. And when you get brought on the 70th minute, 80th minute, players are tired. Run at them. Like, run at them. Like, have a race. I'm going to have a race with you. And if you get there before me, well done to you. But I promise you, I'll probably get there before you, 100%.
Unless it's so.
Okay, yeah. Okay, take it. But like, when you have that belief in yourself, like, you can see it. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you just go for it. Honestly, it doesn't matter if I'm playing on the right or the left. Like, if I've got an opportunity, there's space behind you, and I'm running at you, I'm gonna just knock it in the space and, you know, deliver or shoot or pass, do what I need to do.
What would you say the best part of your game is, Joe?
A lot of people would say cutting in and finishing, but I'm just trying to mix it up. I think that's been my biggest problem, just trying to mix
really good crosses a couple of times so far. The one in, I think it was against Wickham, the ball in for Stipe Peretza, who was just a couple of yards off it. That was a really good ball in.
Yeah, like, honestly, past couple of days, that's literally all I've been working on. It's just different types of crosses and different types of errors. But I feel like just getting it from the right, cutting in from the right, finishing on my left. I feel like I enjoy doing that just because I see all the great players do it. You got Messi's, you got your Salahs that do it for fun, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're left-footed, I can do that. If you can do it, I can do it. Right. And it's like, yeah, I feel like that's definitely my favorite part of my game, but it doesn't really matter where I play as long as I'm playing.
Is there maybe an aspect of your game that you do feel needs improvement in particular?
100%. You got, you know, using my right foot sometimes, because I feel like there's going to be a point where certain teams are going to understand that, all right, cool, he's going to want to drive at you, go down the line, cross with, you know, his left. Or when he's coming from the right, he's going to want to cut inside, use his left. All right, cool, show him he's right. And I feel like that's what I need to work. I need to work on different types of shots, crosses with my right foot. I've got to just be versatile. I've got to be unpredictable. That's definitely what I've got to be. And that just comes with experience, that comes with time, that just comes with work on the training pitch and doing different things that, you know, everyone didn't really expect me to do. Because everyone expects me to cut inside and shoot. Everyone expects me to go down the line and cross. But if I come in and shoot my right foot, everyone's going to be like, what are you doing? Hey, whoa. What's going on here? What's going on? Okay? But yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I've got to work on. But, you know, that comes with time.
What do you see as your preferred position? Because I know you're saying you want to be as versatile as possible, but you have got the benefit on the left of swinging the crosses in your left foot. Like, say, on the right, you're able to cut across. I've seen you played at left wing back before. I don't know if that'd be your favourite position, but is it left wing, do you think?
To be honest, it's either the left or the right. Like, I always get joy coming in from the right and doing what I need to do. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter. Like, if I'm playing on the left, I can still come in. If I'm playing on the right, I can still go outside. I feel like the left and the right, yeah, that's definitely me. Don't really have wing back. No, I mean, listen, if we're playing 5 at the back and I've got to do a job, I'm going to do the job. But it's not my preferred position now.
Love it, Joe. Love it. I tell you what, we talked a lot of football. We're going to get into some quick fire questions, if that's all right with you, mate. Real quick, some random ones in there. So we've got, I think it's about 15 or so we'll fire them over to you. The first one is, favourite player growing up?
Messi.
All day long.
Great choice. Yeah.
Favourite music artist?
Drake.
Oh, big.
Favourite song?
Favourite song? Yeah, good. God, my favourite song, surely.
Ooh. Astro Thunder, Travis Scott.
What about Sweet Caroline?
Oh, man. Oh.
Your most used phrase, because Watford fans kind of know you now. What is it? You walk out and he goes, "It's a lovely day." What is it? It's something like that.
It's going to be a good day.
Oh, man, that was funny. I'd say you know the vibes. I feel like I use that a lot.
Next one, Joe, is best dressed player at Watford in your opinion.
Ooh, probably Andre Gray or Chalobah.
Actually, you mentioned it earlier, but quiet night at home or a night out with the lads?
Quiet night at home, man.
Yeah.
Netflix and chill. I'm chilling.
What's your favourite series on the topic of that?
I'm actually watching Vikings right now, actually. It's pretty good. But I think the greatest series, Game of Thrones.
Who's your best mate at Watford?
Yeah, Jeremy or Dan Phillips.
The best player you've played with, but it has to be in the under-23s, and it can't be one of the senior players that is returning from injury or something like that.
At Crystal Palace, it had to be Cian Flanagan. Oh, he was a player.
Really?
Player. At Watford, it's got to be. I'd say Dan Phillips, but I'd say Dan Phillips.
Did you play with Wan-Bissaka at Palace?
Yeah.
He's doing well for himself.
Oh my
Yeah, he's doing all right.
No, like when people call him the Spider and talk about how no one can get past him, no one can get past him.
Yeah.
No one. It was like there'd be times when he'd slide tackle me. I'd literally be doing like a hurdle over his legs. It's
Really
easy. Like no one could get past him. But yeah, he was something else.
Next one, Joe, is favourite meal.
It's got to be some jollof rice. It's got to be my cultural rice. My cultural rice, yeah.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I feel like if I was to have a superpower, I wish I could read minds.
That's a good shout.
That was quite deep, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I was kind of thinking about that. Like, yeah, I would like to know that as well.
Yeah, I'd like to read minds. Yeah.
Nice. Have you got any pre-match rituals, Joe?
I've got a couple actually. Like before every game, I have to have a hot bath. I feel like there was a period where there was a specific song I'd play before every game because the one time I played it, I had a good performance. So I was like, all right, cool. I've just got to play this song. Probably that. I don't really have a lot. I just keep it simple.
What is the hardest part of playing first team football?
You've got to be mentally sharp. You've got to be physically on it all the time. It's like, it doesn't really matter how you're doing. All that matters is the 3 points on a Saturday and how it gets done. If you're getting the 3 points, it's all good. But as soon as things start to go down, that's when the mental side starts to come around. And, you know, I've been lucky enough to experience how things are going up, how things are going down, and to see how players are moving, to see how players are doing. And yeah, it's definitely difficult. But the hardest part in first team football is to stay at first team football. It's the hardest part.
This is quite a big one, to be fair, but what is your biggest dream in football?
I think my biggest dream would be to play in the Premier League.
Joe, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thanks so much for coming on, taking up so much of your time. But thanks so much for your time, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the season on behalf of all Watford fans.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you very much, Elliot. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Top man, Joe. Take care of yourself. See you later, mate.
Take care.
Yeah.